Islam is evil, Muhammad a pedophile, all that stuff. Nobody's doing that. What they're doing is posting stuff on the internet, perhaps maybe making movies to put on television, marching in the streets, all of which are public forums. So nobody is invading your privacy. Nobody's coming into your shop, and they're doing it in public forums.
And I think many instances this is fine that they're doing these things. But what I think, since people, for instance, let's just use YouTube for an example here. People get upset at me because I would block them if they're cussing me out or calling me names or whatever, or trying to post their vomit on my channel, and they say I'm censoring them. I don't say for free because I'm doing this. Well, I don't have to take
no,
that.
And you don't. And, I've got people block my channel, for example.
Yeah.
But people
that's
have the right for. I mean, there's videos about me. There's a video on YouTube right now saying that I am a wanted sexual predator on the run from the law in Texas. That video's on YouTube. I'm a little bit offended by it. In my opinion, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's fair. But you know what? That video's on YouTube. That's a little bit excessive in my opinion. But I mean, anybody can say a video about anybody. Somebody can put a video that says, "Hey, guess what? DawahFilms, he's Fruit Loops." Now, what they can't do is they can't say, "Here's where DawahFilms lives." They can't say, "Hey, DawahFilms lives in Chicken Scratch, Arkansas at 123 Kittyfoot Street, and here's his telephone number." They can't do that. They can't, for example, say, "Well, DawahFilms, he happens to be a student at this school." But as far as being critical of somebody, being critical of their beliefs in a public forum. Now, granted, you don't have to put up with it on your channel. You can block them from your channel. But as far as on the internet, especially the internet, if you cannot handle criticism on the internet, you really should not be on the internet.
Now, like I said, this is coming from an observation. For instance, we just mentioned slander and libel, especially in the chat. These are not considered legal in most places, I think, in the Western world. Now, my interpretation of hate speech that is harmful to a group of people, not just one person, that doesn't just bring violence on one person. That doesn't, slander can hurt somebody's reputation to the point where it hurts their financial status and even might bring violence onto them. Hate speech is to me, a universal form of slander in that sense. And what I mean by that is if people get the idea, start getting the idea, the majority of people start getting the idea that all Muslims are terrorists, and in some cases this is the case. We have laws that are being enacted against Muslims. We have people hurting people. We don't have an open forum for the other side either. I mean, it's being drowned out by all this hate and this propaganda. And this is where I'm coming. I don't know what my exact position is because I think we should have an open discussion about this on the YouTube community. But how do you protect this minority? How do you protect this minority in the West or in other places around the world from having this? There's one thing between criticizing an idea, another thing from labeling people as a dangerous minority that deserves to be suppressed. This is problematic, and I'm trying to figure out how to solve this problem. And that's where my ideas are coming from, is not mainly, I thought this out, I have this huge moral theory about freedom of speech, but how do we solve this issue? Because I see it as a real problem. So that's what I want to say.
Well, I mean, for example, in your case, you do it, one person at a time. I mean, there's been a lot of videos that were made about you a couple of weeks ago that were highly negative of you, but then people started taking the time to actually get to know you. It's like, as far as your religious views, I think you're Fruit Loops, but I like you as a person. And there are other people who have taken the time, whether they're atheists, whether they're Christians, have taken the time to get to know you, and and so you change people's minds one person at a time, because a lot of people don't know anything about the Muslim religion, and you've been given a great chance. I mean, even though you had a lot of people come after you, you now have an audience, that you can now use to teach others about your political, not political, but views about Islam. You can use that now as an educational forum. So,
Yeah, and I think that was the positive thing about it. But then there's the flip side. What if somebody had killed me before that happened because of what they thought about me?
That would definitely be unfortunate, and sadly, that type of stuff does happen. In my own particular opinion, I mean, I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but in my opinion, I don't believe that the video that was made about you was accurate. And one problem that I definitely have a problem with is the fact that that same clip got played over and over and over again. Despite the fact that you've made videos clarifying your position, you've even made a video pretty much saying it's like, hey, you know what, I kind of misspoke, but still it's the same clip being played over and over and over again. So,
I mean,
I can definitely understand that.
And that's what, the danger lies, I think, and I've just seen it happen time and time again with even Muslims in my own community being hurt or being attacked for these sort of ideas. And, I'm not saying, like I said, that nothing good came out of this whole situation, but my problem is that, with what happened with this, and I promised CPR judge I wouldn't really talk about it, but I'm not trying to insult Thunderfoot with it. I'm just trying to tell you what happened. I had my docs dropped in several areas. People have been trying to. I had some trolls in here trying to post my Facebook name and everything, my information. And how do I know that? Because of misinterpretation of me, they're not going to try to come to me and kill me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. This is very dangerous. And now think about it on a larger scale. Think about the millions of Muslims who live here. And even in Europe right now, we have laws that are going against Muslims in Europe, restricting their religious freedoms, banning minarets. I mean, that's ridiculous. Because of this fear of Muslims. It's I could rant all day, but I don't.
Yeah. Let's move on to another video. Let's go ahead and pull one out here. Okay.
Hey, this is Cyber Hangman here, and I've got a good question for both you, HappyCabbie, and you, DawahFilms. What do you think the best thing for theism to do to renounce the ties that moderates have with extremists? Because we all know that it is the minority of extremists, well, I hope they are a minority, that are the ones that are causing so much trouble and strife and make up the good majority of the trolls around the internet. This is a good question to ask for atheism too, because atheism has its own share of extremists and trolls. Thanks a lot.
Okay, now, it's not getting back. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a stab at this. The best way to denounce extremism is to just simply do that. Number one, if I found out that somebody was harassing somebody else on the internet, I would definitely make some noise about it. In fact, I did, and lo and behold, that guy got his channel suspended. So the good guys won on that one. Of course, that's just YouTube. But I mean, for example, if I found out about somebody like an atheist, for example, who was blowing up churches, blowing up mosques, and I knew about it, number one, contact the authorities, let them know so they can track this guy down. And number two, warn the other, supposed targets, like, if this guy's going after mosques, let the other mosques know. It's like, hey, this is what the guy looks like. So if you're able to stop it, do it. Number one, warn